This light, there's a light that is an ordering principle amid the chaos. And it controls matter, it fills space, and it is this light which imposes form and order on everything else. This spark is controlled by none other than Melchizedek. And Melchizedek organizes the new worlds out in the infinite cosmos. Joseph Smith equated creation with what? The Melchizedek priesthood. Now we learn in the ancient scriptures, the ancient themes, that Melchizedek is in this process. Fascinating. It's the light that purifies contaminated substances, and the light that enables dead matter to live. Reduced to its simplest form, creation is the action of light upon matter. The Greek word is hyle, matter. Matter of itself has no power, being simply burnt out energy. But light reactivates it. It expands it. It has no desire to expand on its own, so the light builds it, expands it, rejuvenates it, rebuilds it, and takes it out into the infinities to be used again and reused. There's a garbage heap that all the old worn out worlds are thrown into, and Melchizedek with the spark, with the light, re-energizes that and creates new worlds from old dismantled worlds. That's the theme of Genesis 1 and 1. The Hebrew is tohu vabohu, empty and waste, formless. It's a void. It's the old matter of the earth that is being reorganized into this earth. Genesis 1 and 1 is not about absolute beginnings. It is about the beginning of this heavens and earth that we enjoy. Fascinating, isn't it? When you look into the Hebrew there. And then, of course, he says, thanks to the vivifying and organizing power of the spark, we find throughout the cosmos an infinity of dwelling places. The word here is topos, dwelling places. Either occupied or awaiting tenants. These are colonized by migrants from previously established toposes or worlds, and it's always in the plural. The worlds, the heavens, and the cosmoses is always mentioned in the plural in these ancient texts. And they are colonized, going back originally and ultimately to a single original center. That is what Iamblichus taught in the theology of arithmetic about the monad, isn't it? Now we find this understanding in the infinite universe, this same philosophy. It originates from a point, from an original center, and then it expands in concentric rings out into the creation. This is marvelous stuff, absolutely awesome. The colonizing process is called a planting, and the Zohar discusses this. Adam and Eve were planted here on earth according to the Zohar. And those spirits which bring their treasures to a new world are called plants. Sometimes they're called seeds. They're also called planters of other worlds, of another world. Every planting goes out from a treasure house, either as the essential material elements or as the colonizers themselves. They come into a sort of a mustering area called the treasure house of souls. With its planting completed, the new world is in business, a new treasury has been established, from which new sparks may go forth and out. And that's exactly how it was taught that the circle expands itself through a mirror. The one circle becomes two, and then they overlap, and that overlapping is the vesica Pisces, from which the straight line of energy, tension, torsion, expansion can occur, and then we begin to get our solids, our planes, and the creation expands into material. But it starts with the spark. It starts with that monad. And then it ever increases into more and more and more. And it goes on endlessly throughout the infinities of infinity. All this from the first principle of geometry, the point. That is fantastic, isn't it? You never knew geometry could teach you so much, did you? This is the point of studying geometry. And of course the colonists keep following one another and founding worlds of their own throughout the immensities of space, and there is never any overcrowding. And they seek nothing so much as a complete identity with the one who sent him. Hence, from first to last, one mind alone dominates the whole boundless complex. From the monad, that point, all else comes into being. That's exactly what Iamblichus taught in the Theology of Arithmetic. Nibley has found this same principle in the early Christian and early Jewish texts, in the treasury texts. The monad, the spark of creation, controlled by Melchizedek, of all people. This is so fascinating. You're never going to see the number one again the same, are you? When you begin to practice whirling circles, whirl lots of them. Get to where you can just do it naturally. And then you begin to overlap. Everywhere where they overlap, then take your straight edge and connect the lines. This is the essence of creation. This is why, as Freemasons, I believe, we are taught to study geometry. When we get to the dyad, we have a lot more interesting information. Then the triad, and then the number 4 and 5. There is absolute treasures to unfold with this ancient numerology, with the themes of the meanings, the symbols of number, and the essence of geometry is to teach us, I sense this, the essence of geometry is to teach us that there is an infinity of potential. And we are part of that infinity. We are co-creators. We are participators in life. We, too, can understand the laws of nature, which are the laws of creation, which include every geometric shape ever discovered, and we, too, can imitate this, participate in this, because we are not separate from the monad. We are a part of it. We are not separate from God. We have God in us. This spark is in each and every one of us. Geometry can ultimately teach us this.